Hello, this is a quick introduction to novnc. So we're going to use this a lot to interact with a web served Linux environment. So I am learning as we go here. But I wanted to sort of show in a couple of sort of basic functionality things. So one, you see that I connected here, and you see that the desktop is actually bigger than my window, which is a little inconvenient. So one thing I can do is there's a sidebar here, this control bar, and I'm going to go into settings and scaling mode. I'm going to say remote resizing, and this is going to have two effects. You can see that now as I change the size of my browser window, it resizes my desktop. And then I'm going to click this to get rid of our sidebar, which is really nice, especially if I want to make it really big so I have some more real estate. And then I'm going to show you, so here's the menu. This is a pretty bare bones installation, but we'll build on it as we go through. We'll want to be able to use the files. This is equivalent to our let's see, Windows Explorer, Nautilus in GNOME, and Finder, I think, for a Mac. So this is a way we can view what all of files we have. So I'm going to put it into, I usually like to look at them in a list view. So we can go to our home directory. We can see it as icons. We can look at different ways of setting it up, so we can see these different directories. We can see these different files. So that's going to be handy later on. I can move that window around. And the other thing I'm going to do, we're going to use a lot of the command window. So the way to get there is go to System Tools, Q Terminal. So we're going to open up a command window. So this guy here. So I think a typical use case that we're going to see is, you're going to be reading along. So I would not recommend actually reading the instructions that'll all be on the course wiki and tutorials and whatnot in this window. So the desktop's going to be a little abbreviated here, but I'm going to make this smaller just so it fits in our video capture. So let's say that, so this is a separate browser. So this is running on my local host, not running on my remote host. So this is just running on my machine. I can, go to Google. I can search stuff up. But what I wanted to sort of illustrate is one thing that we'll get used to the first week is cloning repositories. And so I'm going to clone, and you'll find out what this is. I'm going to clone this repository using HTTP interface, and it gives me the URL to do that. So I want to get this text string, which I don't want to type it. I want to get it over here onto my other desktop. So we can use the copy and paste functionality of novnc, which is a little strange. So I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. So just to illustrate that, I'll bring up so I've copied it here. I can edit, copy, I can Control C. So I've copied that piece of text to my local clipboard. I want to put it right here. And the way that you do that, it's a little clunky, but you'll get used to it, is you bring up this sidebar. There's a clipboard function. We go to clipboard. Whatever we put here in this is kind of like the porthole in and out of our desktop. So I've put it here in this clipboard widget, if you will. That is put it from the clipboard on my local machine to also the clipboard on my remote machine. And now I can go in here and I can say paste the clipboard. And you'll see that URL that I had is now in here. So I'm going to go up arrow, and I'm going to do git clone, and already exists because I already existed. But so I'll rm-rf mrc21. I'm going to, just to illustrate this, git clone that whole thing. I'm going to get rid of the whole clipboard. Up arrow, up arrow. So we can see that it's cloned into this new directory. And so you can see it right here, mrc21 homework 1. And let's say that, I don't know what this output is strange. I want to put it into into a team site, or I want to do something with this output. So how do we take it from inside of the container over to my host? And it's the same thing. So I'm going to highlight it, edit, copy selection, or Control-Shift-C. So all on the keyboard, I'll hit Control-Shift-C. That should copy it. So you can see I can, so it's copied here within my remote host. So if I see it's that I've pasted it there, I could open a text window, text editor, and I could Control V. I could post it or paste it within that gedit text editor, but I want to put it over here into my actual host computer, the one that I'm running right next to me, not the one that I'm running on the web. So I'm going to go back to the novnc clipboard, and you can see that by copying it, whatever I highlight here gets put into this. This is again my porthole from one to the other, and I can highlight it here, copy it, and then paste it over into my host machine. So so a couple of things, like one, like setting it up so that I can get a little bit bigger desktop, so I can do more things in the browser window is convenient. Using the files, we'll use that in homework 1 as we start to navigate creating and editing files. We'll using the clipboard to copy and paste back and forth, and then using the terminal window. So that's all.